Hi everyone, this is Neha Gupta, founder of College Shortcuts and Elite Private Tutors. I'm so excited to be talking about something that's so important to me, which is community service. Now, a lot of people think that, wow, this is such an added thing to have to do for high schoolers. But let me explain to you, many high schools are actually now requiring that students learn the importance of community service so that they become those impactful leaders of tomorrow. Now, universities check on your extracurricular activities and they want to see that your child has been involved in impacting their community. So one of the things is volunteering does make you a better person. So where do you start in this whole process? So I want to kind of give you a quick game plan of understanding the different community service projects and understanding what maybe would be the best next step for you. Now, things to consider before you start doing a community service project. Since you're going to be dedicating your spare time to this, it's so important you find the right project for you, because the last thing you want to do is get into something and sit there and twiddle your thumbs and be like, oh, whatever, right? So one of the things you want to do is make sure that your kid is really finding something that's having fun for them as well. Now, here's some things. What or who do you want to impact? That's the number one thing. Maybe there's something about connecting with adults that makes you feel better. Maybe it's about being in a hospital because you're interested in medicine. Maybe it's just, you've got to find out what issues are important to you. And sometimes it's just about going out there and getting out there to figure that out. The second thing I want to talk about is time. How often are you able to volunteer? Because you got to balance off school, sports, and other extracurricular activities. If you are getting involved in a community service project that takes way too much time, it is not the right one for you. And I say that again as someone who tends to overschedule. I mean, I've got this insane list of things, it's nonstop in my world. And I'm just telling you that you've got to find something where you can still feel like you're impacting but not feeling guilty. So you've got to figure out how your time works. If you're up 6 a.m. to 12 at night trying to get everything done, maybe the volunteer opportunity you're picking is a little too much in terms of a commitment. And then what skills do you want to learn or that you already have you can share? Are you looking to develop leadership skills? Maybe you're volunteering somewhere where you're teaching them how to use Facebook, or you're teaching at an old citizen's home how to use the internet, and you just enjoy that experience. Well, that's beautiful, by the way, if that's what you're passionate about. It's about serving others, making a difference. And I've had teenagers tell me this. I have one student in particular that was like, I love the thought of helping older people understand how to use a computer better because it's going to change the world. Because it's beautiful if you think about that mission statement at a 17-year-old. So skills are really big. You'd be surprised. You can get a lot out of community service. Maybe you learn to have a bigger heart. Maybe you learn that you can be more grateful, or that you are really thankful for the opportunities that you have, because a lot of people don't have them. These are skills you want your kid to start learning now, let me tell you. I know because when I was a kid, my parents did not want me to go on a trip. It was a week-long trip out of the country to go volunteer, and they were like, And I did it, and I came back, and they were like, we've been trying to teach her that value for like 4 years. How did she get it in 7 days? So guys, experiences are huge, huge, huge. There's lessons that can be learned based on that. Let's talk about the different types that we have here. There's over 70 different ideas that can fall under each of these categories here, depending on your school, what city you live in, etc. Now, what I want you to know is there's a lot of different ways. Maybe your kid loves animals, so maybe you want to volunteer in an animal shelter or helping to save the penguins. My niece right now is all about saving the penguins. She finds ways to do that. Maybe that you help to rescue animals. It could be that you host a community dog washer. Maybe you give donations to a local shelter. Maybe you donate food and supplies. Whatever it is, it can revolve around something you love, animals. Second thing is calendar-based things. There's opportunities around, for example, Christmas, around Thanksgiving, around certain holidays. Maybe it's planting trees for Arbor Day. It could be trick or treat for UNICEF. There's so many different ways to do it. Even singing carols for people that are less fortunate. Then there's also the concept of family and friends. See, so many people don't realize that you can organize things for family and friends. You can be a pen pal. I had a pen pal when I was a kid. I remember that, which is random. Maybe you do babysitting as a volunteer service for families that really need it. I'll talk about something near and dear to my heart. I was a tutor. I volunteer tutored at in 9th grade in dance, because I was such a good dancer. I got these really good dance moves, and it was as if I had found exactly what I should be doing in this lifetime. I'm not kidding. I felt it as a high school when I was working with kids there was this incredible connection that I can't even explain. And I started volunteering for tutoring through my high school career. And I'm telling you, you'd be surprised your kid could find out what their life mission is. I almost tear up thinking about it because I remember those kids so well. Okay, then we've got environmental community service projects. For example, I did beach cleanups. I just got out there in the community. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can clean a park, you can do a highway cleanup, whatever it is. Then there's also government ones. You could write letters to the troops overseas. You could help people organize them to vote and register. You could become a volunteer at the VA, etc. You can also hold things about the public issues, or, for example, I was on the board for diversity and culture for the mayor as a high schooler. I don't know, but there's things you can do to get involved in your government. Health-wise, you know these, donation blood drives, organizing meal packing, canned goods, etc., for health, etc., local soup kitchen. Then, of course, there's the neighborhood, working for building a house. I did Habitat for Humanity, which was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, helping to build a house, helping to pick up trash around the neighborhood, helping to paint or repair homes. All these things are amazing things to do. And then there's safety volunteering, raising awareness about certain things like teen suicide, DUIs, prom, people pass away on prom. I mean, there's so many ways you can create these safety ideas that are incredible. Maybe it's working at a hotline for a domestic abuse place, whatever it is, or a women's shelter. The next thing is your senior citizens. I've actually, now that I think about it, I've actually done a little bit of all this in my life. And I'm telling you, giving your kids this exposure is so important because they have these incredible memories that don't involve just like their own life and their own things going on. Senior citizens, you can go visit them. I remember I sang choir, so we sang to them for Christmas. You could offer to teach them things. You could go to people in nursing homes. There's just so many ways you can do. So just remember, you got to keep your schedule in mind. Yes, we could do this all day long, but we've got to always focus also on what we need to get done as well. So you got to make sure that your child is still doing their academic needs and other things and create that balance. Make sure you research these opportunities to understand what the commitment requirements are so they don't fail. They should really be able to go there, do a great job, and feel awesome about it. And remember, you want them to connect with people, connect with what they're doing, let their heart shine. And always remember to keep a log of your volunteer hours, put it on that resume, and keep that all together. I hope this video has been helpful to tell you how important community service is. It's how I found my life passion, and I can't wait for you to learn more about college shortcuts and what we do. As I was saying earlier about the resume, if you are looking at any grade level to be doing these kind of activities and you want to create a log, I have a course called Resume Shortcuts that reverse engineers showing you what it takes to get to a top college. I give examples of really good resumes and what a bad resume is, and how you should use our template to track all of your activities. So definitely check out Resume Shortcuts. We are incredible when it comes to making sure your child gets the credit they deserve for the work that they've done. Again, this is Neha, founder of College Shortcuts and Elite Private Tutors. So glad to have you and talking about community service. Thanks.